Yo, Nation, what's good, man? How's everybody doing tonight, man? You have tuned in to Raider Nation Network. And if you don't know, you about to find out.
Welcome to Raider Nation Network, where we represent the silver and black, the team with the hottest stadium in the NFL, the team that is 3-time Super Bowl winning champions of the NFL. A team with some of the greatest players to ever play this game in the Hall of Fame. We also represent the hottest cheerleaders, the most talented cheerleaders, dopest cheerleaders to ever touch a field. And we also are represented by some of the greatest fans to ever be a fan. We're not fans. This is a nation. Raider Nation. And that's what this network is all about. Raider Nation Network. You can find us here on the late night for the Dirty Raider Late Night Talk. And on Friday and Saturday, the Dirty Lunatic Show. Sketch comedy like no other. Raider Nation Network, where we are all about the silver and black. Hosted by Dirty Raider. You know how it goes, man. Raiders! Raider Nation.
What's up with y'all, man? How y'all doing today, man? Hope y'all is well. Everybody had a blessed and wonderful day. It's your boy Dirty in the building, man. Came through real quick, man. First thing we gonna do, man, is open our show. 50 billion things on YouTube. The fact that you allow me to grace your screen for any amount of time is greatly appreciated. For real, for real. I know you could be anywhere in the world, you know what I mean? But the fact that you allow me to come into your home, your car, your phone, your job, the gym, wherever you may be watching the show, airplane, overseas in another country, man, I appreciate you. I appreciate you for real, for real. It's mad respect, mad love for everybody here, man. I know the nation is real unhappy right about now. Let's be honest. Mark Davis is unhappy. The coaching staff is unhappy. The players are unhappy. The fans are unhappy, man. You know, that's what losing does. You know what I mean? Losing makes people unhappy, man. Losing makes people unhappy, man. That's just how it is sometimes, man. But I got a couple of things that I want to go over. I definitely want to talk about. Actually, I want to listen to the interview from Davante Adams and Derek Carr today. So we will be listening to that for a little bit. We'll break that down. And also, to start the show, I'm put a smile on everybody's face. You know, put a smile on everybody's face just to start the show off. Um, but let's see. Waiting for a couple of people to pull into the building. Get a few more people in here, man. Um, my wife and kids just pulled up. Haven't really seen them today, so I want to go say hello to them really, really quickly. So while I put a smile on everybody's face, I'm gonna run in here and give my family hugs and kisses, and then we will definitely jump straight into our show. We're going to talk about the interview, and we'll break it down. We'll listen to it live together. We'll decipher it ourselves. Um, that's how we do over here. But let's start the show off with some smiles, man. You guys ready to smile? Let's smile, man. This is Comic Con LA. My brother went. He always goes every year. I see why he goes. Hey, man, I'll say this, man. I'll definitely say this, man. Them people, they spend some money on their costumes, man. Don't they? That shit was elaborate, bro. I could have swore some of them people came straight out the motherfucking movie, man. That shit is crazy. That cosplay, bro. Hey, I used to think like they was nerdy and shit like that, bro. And I'll be honest, man. I'm giving my honest opinion. I used to think that was some nerdy ass shit. And man, my brother came home and showed me a video. I was like, nigga, why you didn't tell me this when I was single, bro? Nah, I'm just playing. What? Yeah, I mean, but I would have went if I was single. I won't go now. But if I, man, I came up with something, man. I'd have figured out something, man. They ain't bullshitting. What's up with you, Loon? How you doing, man? Raider Goon, my dude. What's good with you, man? Hope you're doing well, brother. Hope all is good, man. I hope you saw yourself in the intro. You know what I mean? Shout out to you, man. I appreciate you for real, for real. Ladies and gentlemen, man, like I said, I wanna listen to this interview, man. Circus, no, I'm sorry. Good cosplay cost you more than that, fam. I'll be honest with you, bro. I know this for a fact, bro. Because like I said, my little brother is heavy into that. A good cosplay, bro. Like a good one, man. You talking about a G, bro. And some of them costumes you saw, bro. Some of them costumes you saw, bro. Man, I know a dude that spent 10 racks, bro, over time. 10 racks, but he got a Transformer costume. That shit's mad crazy, bro. He got a Transformer costume, bro. That shit is mad crazy, and he can actually transform. Like he'll be sitting there like a car, bro. He'll be sitting there just like a regular car, and somebody will say something, and this motherfucker will activate and turn into a Transformer, bro. That shit is hard, bro. That shit is hard, and he on stilts. You know what I mean? So like, it's like I won't say, well, yeah, they kind of stilts. You know what I mean? But they're four-legged stilts inside the foam to make him a little bit tall. That dude costume is crazy, and it takes him. I think they said 9 hours. It takes 9 hours for him to just put the costume on. You know what I mean? So yeah, man. Mad crazy. Mad respect for them, man. Oh yeah, the average fan, yeah. Yeah, the average person, yeah, 200. You know what I mean? The average person, 200, man. Hey, J-Dub. Hey, bro. I heard, bro. I'm like I said, wish I'd have got into it when I was mad younger. But now I'm setting my ways and I'm happy with the life I have. You know what I mean? But man, that shit. I mean, shit, bro, you know they gotta be freaks, bro, to be showing up to stuff like that. Not bashing. But you gotta have an active lifestyle if you're showing up for Comic-Con like that, bro. Because all those people that dress up and stuff like that, they like outgoing people. Some of them are not. Some of them that have on the mask, they hide behind them. You never see their face. They do that for a reason. But yeah. If you're young in your 20s, man, get into Comic-Con, bro. If you are young in your 20s, bro, get into Comic-Con. That shit crazy, bro. That shit crazy, bro. That shit mad crazy, bro. Like I said, my brother brought me home a video of one of his, because he always works Comic-Con. You know what I mean? He's a character, but he always works Comic-Con. You know what I mean? So, but let's get into some Raider shit, man. Let's take a listen to this presser from today. Derek Carr and Davante Adams had a presser today, ladies and gentlemen. I have not had a chance to listen to it. I've been busy all day. So if you've heard it, cool. But if you haven't, then we gonna hear it together. So let's take a listen on what it is Mr. Derek Carr and Davante Adams has to say. Big Worm, what's good with you? Jesus, what's good? J Dubs, Lou, Circus, what's good? Raider Chris 100, what's good with you, Mike? Hope all is well, fam. Hope you had a blessed and wonderful day. Um, it's playing, but you know how the Raiders do they shit, man. It's crazy, bro. They'll give you. Here you go. So let's address that. Let's address the first question, man, before we get into the second one, man. Let's address the first question. So I guess the first question was uh, about Josh McDaniels not knowing what Derek Carr was talking about because people were quick to say, "Oh, there's a huge disconnect when the quarterback and the coach don't know, what I mean, what each other is talking about and blah blah blah." Right. So Derek Carr just set the record straight. Yes, Josh McDaniels had no idea what it is that Derek Carr was talking about because there were no coaches present at the time. You know what I mean? So, uh, Pizzle, you say you didn't hear nothing? You didn't hear anything? Did anybody hear anything? Let me know. I heard it. I heard it loud and clear on my side, but okay, there was no audio. All right, cool deal, cool deal. Uh, let me fix that real quick, and then I'll rewind it, and we'll start over. Can you hear it now? Give me 1 second. Yeah, no, there's no sound right now. I'm waiting for it to cue itself back up. Damn, YouTube takes forever. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. That is so unprofessional. How about now? All right, cool. I got you. We're gonna have to do it this way then. All right. I was trying to just do the audio, but I guess I can't just do the audio. So what we'll do is we'll share the screen and then we'll just have to share the screen. It'll be what it is. You know what I mean? It just show won't be monetized. I don't give a fuck. Who cares? Not a big deal. Um, Let me know if you can hear it now.
In terms of the locker as leaders, but is it also the coaching staff to, if that's an issue, to address that as well?
Well, when we're in the locker room, in certain areas, there's no coaches. And certain things that were said and addressed and handled like men. I'm proud of the way we handled it, honestly. And what you saw from me was just frustration from some of the things that had to be addressed. Didn't think they had to be addressed, but we did. And so I'm going to do my best today during this. I know everyone wants to ask about that because I was very upset, obviously. But I'm going to do my best to just move on to the next game. But to answer those questions, it was addressed, but no coaches were around where we were when that happened.
One more on that. It leaves things up for interpretation.
Okay, so let's talk about that. Since now we heard it, right? Since now everybody heard what I was talking about. I've been having audio issues since I got this filter for my microphone, but hopefully I sound better with the filter that I have. Hopefully it's not so choppy. I was watching one of my shows and I kind of sounded a little bit choppy, so I went and got a filter for my microphone. So hopefully it sounds a little bit better. But basically, everybody was like left in the dark because at the time the questions was asked when DC made his statement, and then Coach Mr. Daniels was asked about the statement, and he made the comment of he didn't know what Derek Carr was talking about. People immediately assumed that there was an extremely large disconnect between the two, that if a quarterback is saying this, but a coach has no understanding of what it is that quarterback is talking about, it like you said, it leaves room for interpretation, right? But as Derek Carr explained, there was no coaches around at the time that the conversation took place. So in essence, yes, Josh McDaniels would not know, and that is not a disconnect, because sometimes coaches really don't need to be involved in everything. That's what leaders of teams do. You know what I mean? Leaders of teams have their own side conversations about what the hell is going on. Now, there's been made mentions of Team McDaniels, Team Derek Carr, right? But at the same time, we know Derek Carr to be who Derek Carr has been since he started here. Derek Carr is a team player. Always has been, always will be. He's a team player. But the emotions that come with being a leader sometimes, you put them on display and then you get ridiculed for them. But, hey, look, shit happens. I say things and I get ridiculed for them. You know what I mean? And that's fine with me. Sometimes I say some wild, crazy shit that I should not have said. I probably said some shit this morning I probably shouldn't have said. I really don't give a fuck. I don't care. It is what it is. You know what I mean? If anybody was offended and you don't fuck with me, then it doesn't really fucking matter. You don't fuck with me. So what do I give a fuck if you're offended? If you don't fuck with me, who cares? But for getting back into the Raider talk, it can seem a little crazy. It can definitely seem a little crazy, but all in all, you know what I mean, our boy is getting ready for the next game. So let's jump into the next question on this presser that was held today.
And so, the buy-in for, do you feel like buy-in for the coach there? And is there like that you're upset about where maybe guys aren't out there playing right now?
No. When it comes to injuries, I've been through injuries, and there's some that you can play through and there's some that you can't do anything about. I was not talking about anybody like that, for sure. And for our coach, we love Josh. Like, me and Tay had we have meetings with him all the time, and we had another great one today, and fully believe in the plan. And because he shows us like like my point is what being mad at the coaches is that going to do? You know what I'm saying? Like, is that really what we want to do for another 20 years? You know what I mean? Like, keep doing a cycle like that. Like, they know what they're doing. They've had success. Like, as players, we're fully bought in because we're like, man, we believe in it, and we just all want to be a part of it. You know what I mean? And so that part of it, like, my feeling, like, we love Josh. We love everything that he brings, everything the staff has brought, and really, we just are focused on playing better. Everybody, every man in there, we all took turns in the game. You watch the film, like, oh, I could have done that. Like, even if it wasn't, it's probably stuff that people don't even notice. But you're like, man, if I do that more consistently, it'll lead to some wins, for the team. And everyone took that mindset. And so the proof is when he shows it to us, and you're like, Coach, you're right. We got to do that better. And so I think we're closer than, you don't want to ever use certain words, but anytime that we've had a new coach and you got to start over and do certain things, we're a lot closer to being where we want to be than what it feels like right now.
Do the competitive nature of these games lead you to that conclusion? I mean, it's not like aside from the Saints game.
Yeah. I mean, those games are going to happen,
Right.
But yeah, I mean,
let's break down that last one first before we move on to some more. Ern, what's good with you, man? Salute to you, brother. Hope all is well. Hope you're doing good, man. You know what? Let's bring some people in, man. Let's have a good time, man. Let's bring some people in. Let's bring some people. Y'all know how I run my show, man. Let's bring some people in, get some dialogue going, get some feedback, ladies and gentlemen. Any and everybody that wants to pull up, man. You know the rules. Keep it respectful, and that's what it is. You know what I mean? If you're afraid to show your face, pull up with just a microphone. You'll still be allowed on the show. But breaking down the last one that he was just talking about. J Dub says the way he was crying, it was Tay getting into his ass. Look, I don't know who got on who. I don't really think I don't know where JT is right now. You know what I mean? Right away. I don't know where JT is right now. Let me call JT. Let me see if JT is awake, because JT has a regular job. You know what I mean? JT has a regular 9 to 5. Yeah, JT has a regular 9 to 5, man. So let me see if JT is up. Yeah. Let's see. Ladies and gentlemen, I do apologize for that slight mute. I was on the phone with JT. JT is awake. He said give him a couple of minutes. He'll pull up, and then we'll have another in-depth conversation from the other night. Look, you ask for something, I reach out and I see if I can make it happen, man. That's all I can do. You know what I mean? That's really all I can do. Ladies and gentlemen, special guest backstage. Before we go on any further, man, this is a brother of mine that, look, you get to meet people on YouTube, you know what I mean? But then you don't get a real chance to meet them in person. But this brother, I actually got a chance to spend days with. You know what I mean? He got a chance to meet my kids. You know what I mean? I got a chance to meet his father, one of his best, closest friends, as well as his partner on his channel, Yes Sir Outdoors. The reason why he's called Yes Sir Outdoors, because he's the king of the outdoors, ladies and gentlemen. Anything and everything that you want to know about being outdoors, this brother can pretty much give you a little bit of information about it. He definitely show you how to catch some fish, you know what I mean, amongst some other things, ladies and gentlemen. He's also one of the brothers that's going to advocate for you being a donor. Every single time you see him, he's going to advocate for you being a donor, even if you can't save his life. His point is to save somebody else's so that they don't have to go through the same thing, and that's tremendously honorable, ladies and gentlemen. The CEO of motherfucking Brown Crackers, my boy, Mr. Raider Twine. What's good with you, Twine?
Hey, what's good? What's good?
How you feeling?
I'm all right, man. I can't complain.
How's that?
Can't complain, man.
That's good.
How you
Raphael,
doing?
salute to you. What's good with you, man? I'm good, man. Circus, good. Brian, what's good with you, man? T, what's good with you? Salute. Mike G, what's good, man? Hope all is well. Ladies and gentlemen, another guest backstage, man. This is probably one of the biggest DC fans in the world, ladies and gentlemen, just like me. You know what I mean? We share the same sentiments when it comes to our boy, Mr. Dag Ka. You know what I mean, ladies and gentlemen? I call him the Emperor of 420 in Northern California. You call him Westside Media. Others call him Westside Earn. Ladies and gentlemen, our boy, the king, the Emperor, Mr. Westside Earn. What's up, Earn?
What's happening, y'all? Thank you for having me. Hey, I like the intro you gave Twan. You said, if you need to know anything about the outdoors. So Twan, I got a question. So if I'm in the woods and I ate some bad food and I really got to take a shit, how deep do I need to dig that hole?
What do you mean how deep you gotta dig that hole?
To take a shit in the woods.
You're supposed to put it in a bag and tie it up and throw it away.
In the woods?
Yes.
You're supposed to shit in a bag and tie it up and throw it away in the woods. So you're telling me that there's little bag stations around the woods for bears when they got to take a shit, that they can just go grab a bag and take a shit and wrap it up?
It's different because, look, I'll tell you this. In the middle of the night, I know. But look, think about it. In the middle of the night, you go to take a shit, right? And you find you a nice little bush. And you don't really touch the bush, but your ass cheeks kind of touch the bush, right? And then in the morning you wake up, your ass cheek is itching because your ass cheek touched poison oak. But that's why you just shit in the bag. Now, me, I got a chair with the hole cut out. I got a chair with the hole cut out, put the bag in the hole, you know what I mean? It straps down, sit down, take a shit, and you know what I mean, close up the bag, tie it up real good, throw it in the dumpster.
Now, also with that being said, you're talking about digging a hole now, and you're hiking at the same time. So that means that maybe someone might actually even go down that that path or whatever. So you have lesser of the two evils, right? Is it better to, you know what I'm saying, step in a bag of poop that you can clean, or step into a hole, break your ankle, and then you have a hard time getting out of that same force? So you're disturbing the earth too when you're digging holes like that too. So
digging a hole to take a shit like in the woods is not actual thing.
No.
Oh, I always thought that people talking about like when they was in Vietnam War or whatever, how they had to dig a hole.
Nigga, that's war. That ain't camping. That's war. Yeah. That's a whole.
I thought it was the same thing, motherfucker. You camping while you at war, motherfucker.
Hey, think about how many holes you would have. How many holes would be out there?
God damn, huh?
You know what I'm saying? So you kind of have to be mindful of that, even though it seems like it makes sense. People make, outhouses and stuff like that, but that's,
But I
that's
mean,
not.
Quan, it's not like you dig a hole
Probably
and
a
take
thing
a.
for some people.
It's not like you dig a hole, take a shit in the hole, and just leave the hole wide open. You like fill in the hole with the dirt on top. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, nobody's gonna break their ankle. I
Man,
hope not.
first off, who the fuck is digging a 2-foot hole to take a shit? Yeah, I mean, and then gotta fill it in, nigga. That's work.
Nigga, I don't know. I was just asking. I don't never be out in the. I stay inside.
Nah, some people do that, bro. Some people do that, but I mean, the campsites I go to, they usually have latrines. So,
What the
most
fuck is a
campsites
latrine?
nowadays have bathrooms, bro. You don't know
What the hell is a latrine, bro?
a bathroom.
Is that some fucking bougie ass diamond bar word for toilet, motherfucker?
Wait. See, and this is, I'm
What the
trying to
hell?
talk football.
What the hell is a latrine? I
Bro,
never heard that shit before. I'm from East
I'm
Oakland.
trying to talk Raider football. You want me to talk public school education? This shit, that's a different subject, bro.
Hey, it's a late night, bro. You said late nights, anything goes, bro. It's a late night. The sun is down, motherfucker.
Hey, Ern, what is a lavatory?
I know what a lavatory. I knew what a latrine, bro. I was just making fun of bougie, dirty bougie ass.
A latrine is what they call it in the military, though.
Is it?
Yeah, that's a military term.
In the military, they call that motherfucker the head.
Some do. Some call it a latrine.
Okay.
I mean, it depends on what branch you in. Depending on what branch you in. But I was getting ready to break down the last section of this interview, right? But I didn't motherfucking forgot. So
okay, let me help.
Play it again. Let me play it again.
Okay, I was gonna say I remember.
Our coach, but I'm gonna do my best to just move on to the next game. But to answer those questions, it was addressed, but no coaches were around where we were when that happened.
One more on that. It leaves,
Of course.
And so, the buy-in for the coach. Do you feel like the buy-in for the coach there? And is there like anything in particular that you're upset about where maybe guys aren't out there playing right now?
No. When it comes to injuries, I've been through injuries, and there's some that you can play through, and there's some that you can't do anything about. I was not talking about anybody like that, for sure. And for our coach, we love Josh. Like me and Tay had, we have meetings with one today, and fully believe in the plan, and because he shows us like my point is what being mad at the coach, is that gonna, what I'm saying, like, is that really what we want to do for another 20 years? You know what I mean? Like, keep doing a cycle like that. Like, they know what they're doing. They've had success. Like, as players, we're fully bought in because we're like, man, we believe in it, and we just all want to be a part of it. You know what I mean? And so to answer that part of it, like, we love Josh. We love everything that he brings, everything the staff has brought. And really, we just are focused on playing better. Every man in there, we all took turns in the game. You watch the film, like, I could have done that. Like, even if it wasn't, it's probably stuff that people don't even notice, but you're like, man, if I do that more consistently, it'll lead to some wins, for the team. And everyone took that mindset. And so the proof is when he shows it to us and you're like, Coach, you're right. We got to do that better. And so I think we're closer than, you don't want to ever use certain words, but anytime that we've had a new coach and you got to start over and do certain things, we're a lot closer to being where we want to be than what it feels like right now.
Do the competitive nature of these games lead you to that conclusion?
So, listening to that, right? Listening to that comment right there, that breakdown. You know what I mean? Who got something on in the background? Aaron, you got a TV on?
Is it off now? Hey Josh,
it's low. You can still hear it, but it's low.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's way better. That's way better.
Okay,
Right there.
that was the others. My family members watching TV and shit.
For sure. So let me ask you guys, man. We'll start with Twan. You know what I mean? What do you take from that breakdown right there?
I mean, to be honest with you, I think that it and just trying to give like a brush over the overall interview. I think he was trying to bring some context to what he, the emotions that he had in the previous one, and I think this was this one specifically this segment talks about because in his first interview it kind of could be construed that he was possibly taking jabs at, Waller or Renfro, with the comments that he made. And this is, again, he's bringing some context to, and trying to better explain, what he was trying to explain when he was emotional. And sometimes, and just, bringing it to a head, I think a lot of people, when we're in our emotions, sometimes we don't communicate, the best way that we can, because there's emotions there, there's feelings there, whatever. And I think he was just trying to clarify that it was not, anybody, that is on, the injured reserve or whatever, that he was, taking jabs at, so that's kind of what I took from that part. And, he even talked about his injuries too, so, just, showing again that he relates to like understanding that, some injuries you can't come back from and whatever. So that's what I took from that.
For sure. Ern, what you got?
Vanilla answer. He did specify that he's not talking about Waller and Renfro. He went out of his way to say that. I think he's covering for the coaches. I really believe that these players don't like the coaches, but I am hearing reports that, that it's a players versus players. So if that's the case, then we can use process of elimination. He's not talking about Waller and Renfro, and he's probably talking about players on the offense. So who are we looking at then? From my observations, it looks like Jermaine Illuminor is on the island. Like nobody's fucking with him. I think he's one of the people being scapegoated. Not necessarily scapegoated because it's rightful. And if it's rightful, it's not scapegoat. He's one of the people being held accountable. I really don't know who else. For some reason, I have a gut feeling that Mac Hollins is one of the ones because his personality is he's like a free spirit where he doesn't take anything too seriously. You know what I mean? And that's part of the problem with this team is like people aren't taking this shit seriously. So I think Mac Hollins is one of the ones. I think Jermaine Illuminor is one of the ones. And that's just the ones that come to mind right now on offense. I'm pretty sure some on defense, but I don't have a good read on any of those yet. But at the end of the day, what I really gained the most out of that shit is he's basically like, saying all the politically correct things that Derek Carr has always said. We love our coaches. We think we believe in them. They've done more than us and all the typical shit that he's supposed to say about his coach.
Yeah. Ern, I second that. I think Illuminor and Hollins are identified. You know what I'm saying? They haven't said it clearly, but it's been, DC said it, but then DA, if you look at the context of what DA was saying, where people want to have, people want their name called, you know what I'm saying? Or they want to be that guy, but then when it's time for them to do what they need to do, they're not showing up. That to me, that kind of sounds like Matt Collins. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, name called. That's not an offensive lineman. That's a skill position player.
Yeah. So, and you just look at, again, when you look at certain plays, you know what I'm saying? It seemed like Matt Hollins was, you know what I'm saying? Not saying that it's solely on Matt Collins, because again, DC has to throw the ball and there's a lot of things that have to, go into play to make, you know what I'm saying, that throw to Hollins a success. But, it seems like Matt Collins is involved in a lot of the miscues. So, and
Keelan Cole too. That one just dawned on me right now.
Yeah.
It's definitely skill position players. Maybe I don't think it's Foster Moreau so much because you can see that the effort is there with him. or at least it has the illusion of the effort being there with him.
Ladies and gentlemen, got a special guest backstage real quick before we go on any further. Chat, you requested that I, you know what I mean, reach out to my boy. I did. He picked up the phone. He is here, ladies and gentlemen. He is referred to as the real Mr. October. He's a LA native living in the city of AZ. Very knowledgeable about the game he speaks about.
AZ is a state.
I said that.
You said he lives in this. You said he lives in the city of AZ.
I said resides in AZ.
You said he
Whatever.
resides in the city
Quit
of
fucking up the
AZ.
intro, nigga. Don't fuck up a nigga's intro. God damn. If I fuck up, let me fuck up on my own. Don't correct the goddamn intro. It's an intro, nigga.
Why do I always got to be in between this stuff when you be
Man.
getting on people? Why?
Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, my boy, my brother, Mr. J Tizzle. What's up, JT?
J motherfucking T.
What's up, y'all?
What's happening with you?
No, I'm just getting prepared for this debate I got tomorrow with my brother to help him out with his podcast that's coming out. But I see some people had questions or
Yeah, they kind of want to finish that conversation. You know what I mean? But, you know, at
Yeah.
the same time, I wanted to get your thought on the interviews and the pressers that took place today. You know what I mean?
what DC saying. I'm talking about the total bullshit he's playing right now. Just star work. I mean,
I haven't gotten through his whole thing. I'm just getting into question number 3. You know what I mean? I've listened to the first 2 questions, you know what I mean? You know,
I'm saying this question right here, what you said, I when I pulled in, I started listening to what he was saying. A bunch of bullshit. So, you know, everyone knows if you have kids, you understand this. You know when your kid is lying to you because he constantly repeats himself. How many times did Derek Carr say he loves Josh McDaniels? How many times did he have to pause and think about things he loves so much? If you love something so much, you ain't got to repeat yourself. Is he frustrated? Yes. Can he say he's really frustrated? No, you got to be political about your frustration because you're not trying to out yourself and be like point the finger at everybody else.
You know, identified as a malcontent.
No, you don't want to be identified as a snitch.
That too.
But you also, in being a leader, you got to be
what's up, Fade? How you doing?
be very
Building.
decisive with your words that you use, because a lot of the times it can be misleading and it can be interpreted incorrectly. So it's understandable for you to have pauses and to think, but when the words come out and it's really just a bunch of filler, you really kind of telling yourself, like if you were to get someone who studies language, they would probably say majority might be lying, because if you had so much good things to say, you would be specific with what you talk about. You know, when I'm going over the film and we show that, you know, we get these corrections, we're seeing what our mistakes are, you know, the indecision with me or how I'm not trusting the line, or, you know, I could be very direct with what I talk about. But when I'm just trying to come up with bullshit and deflect and be dismissive, you repeat yourself and you get repetitive. So I mean, that's just called being a good team player, and that's what DC has always done. You know, when you see someone's frustration, kind of like when you have liquor in you, you kind of tell the truth because you kind of don't have a filter, or your filter overrides what your actual thought process is because you're so emotional. And you see that with the immediate reaction or the immediate interviews, you see it's 2 different people. It feels like Derek Carr had an alter ego right now. You know what I'm saying? It's like 2 different people. So I mean, I hear him. I understand what you're saying. Do I believe what you say? No, because I honestly don't believe what the coaches say. The only person I believe is Mark Davis, because Mark Davis is literally quoting what I told y'all 5 weeks ago about if you're gonna really do this, you gotta trust the process. You gotta believe in your hire and trust in your hire, and you can't falter. You know what I'm saying? He literally quoted what I said like 5 weeks ago about Rome wasn't built in a day. I'm like, God damn, this motherfucker must be looking at podcasts.
You did say that shit. I was there for it.
So
You're right. You're right that on that, Jason. That's funny.
yeah, I'm like, I understand. I see the writing on the wall. So there's gonna be a lot of change. Comes to find out, I'm gonna be honest. I think Darren Waller's not gonna be a Raider next year. DC's not gonna be a Raider next year. Darren Waller was supposed to be gone before the trade deadline, but they couldn't get any takers for him. The lack of his availability is what's hindering the Raiders moving him. The biggest trade bait that the Raiders have to get capital is Derek Carr, because Devontae Adams no one's probably going to take him. Because they're not going to want that contract, and they're not going to want to give what we're going to ask for him. So, like, Devontae is, like, unmovable. Only problem is if you move the way I think they're going to move, I see Devontae Adams saying, fuck this season, I'm out. I'm going to sit out. Yeah, that could be a possibility. I could be totally wrong. I'm just going off I'm just basing everything on how I would react. When I'm playing or when I was in there, the decisions I would make, because I'm gonna be honest, I can't falter the decisions that Mark Davis is moving, like the moves he's making. When you make a decision, stick with it, man. And you gotta sometimes you gotta stick to it even when you're in the fire. You know what I'm saying? You can't just fold. And that's the sign of good leadership, is not folding to the pressure of what fans want. I understand it's not what we want as fans, but at the end of the day, fuck what the fans want. Y'all fans for a reason. I'm owner for a reason. Granted, was I born in this position? Yes, but I'm more prepared than anybody else is. I'm saying, at the end of the day, this is entertainment. And it's a very lucrative business in this entertainment field that we have. So his success is not driven off of really winning. It's profit. Winning can be a factor to that, but if I'm making profit at the end of the day, I'm stacking my business. I'm gathering income. I'm getting the family out of debt. You know what I'm saying? And once I'm out of debt, then we'll get back to. If I'm really into it, winning for the fans.
Devontae Adams is not sitting out. Devontae's not going to do that. He's just like DC. He's a team player. He's going to honor his contract. You know what I mean? Hey. If he was to sit out and cause a ruckus, you know what I mean? That could kind of hurt him just a little bit. You know what I mean? Ain't nobody trying to bring that will put him in the diva category.
But Dirty,
be the AD. Yeah,
he just did that in Green Bay though.
So I'm gonna say this: he won't.
He was in Green Bay for a minute, bro. He was in the Green Bay for a minute. He's not the next AB. I agree with Dirty on this. They're gonna give it at least another year. I think.
I don't see that, man. You can't.
I see McDaniels and Carr will be there one more year. They're gonna ride this shit out, dude. And Adams will be there too.
Just from the first two questions and the first two answers that Derek Carr gave, right? I'm telling you, my belief, you know what I mean, my opinion, because you have yours, and yours is very valid. You know what I mean? I understand where you're coming from, and I understand where you're at. But here, in my opinion, from the two answers that I heard so far, and we're definitely going to listen to some more of this because that's what I want to do. I want to break this shit down. But listening to the first two answers leads me to believe that DC and Devontae will be here next year along with Josh McDaniels. Because the thing is, if everybody's saying that Mark Davis, right? Mark Davis knows what he's doing. They were pretty much aware of this already. So that's telling me if you already had some remnants of this quite possibly being what it would be because you don't have all the pieces you need, that means you don't have high expectations for Derek Carr.
So
That means you're looking at the whole team across the board and the fact that, yeah, you just gave him this money knowing that the possibility of being a losing season because you don't yet have everything you want yet.
okay,
And
I
a
got
lot of that has to do with let me finish mine. I gave you 7 minutes, uninterrupted conversation. Let me get my few on my show. Let me get my few. So, with them not really addressing the offensive line because there wasn't much out there available that they really wanted to depend on or put a lot of faith into or pay a lot of money for, because they're not a franchise to pay a lot of money to D linemen, offensive linemen, or really linebackers. Remember, New England lost out on a lot of their good linebackers because they didn't want to pay them. So they ended up going somewhere else, assigning somewhere else to get that check, right?
Yeah.
So for us, we went in not having any linebackers, you know what I mean? Because they didn't want to spend on what was out there because they didn't really have too much faith in it. And as you look at it, the free agents that were available aren't doing anything at linebacker for the teams that they've signed with. So that would have been another loss for us, right? Like I had to go back and look at all the free agents, linebackers and D linemen that were available and see what it is they're doing and how much it is they're getting paid versus what we had on the books. And when I look at it, we could have paid a lot of money for some of these guys, but they're not doing anything. You know what I mean? They're literally not doing anything. We got defensive linemen here with the same stats. So you telling me I would have paid you $6 million more than the guy that I already have on the roster for the same stats? Nah.
you can't. But you're inflating that they're going to produce the same on this team as in that team, which is not. It's a bad way of grading, because, I mean, that's like saying when you're judging things, how other teams' offenses compare against the Raiders' defense. On paper, yeah, it looks like they shouldn't be able to do anything. But when you actually put it on the field, they're hella productive. So when you can, like, someone else's trash can be a gem to us. Every time we get somebody's trash, they kind of ball out and play better than what we have here. So I can't just totally dismiss that certain players won't fare well, because I mean certain players play well in different schemes. Hell, the scheme that Patrick Graham might be better for other players. But overall, is the result going to change if they come here? I couldn't say yes or no. But my question for you was, for Mark, everyone keeps saying Mark Davis is this decision maker, which he is not. I'm like, when you look at the guys that he hires, he gives them full control of the team. Granted, he has the final say, but he doesn't interfere with the guys he brings in. He doesn't do what his father does. Who he hires, he gives full control. They run the ship. He's the commander, but, you know, when you're the commander, you ain't got to be in the war. You got generals, you got sergeants for that.
Yeah, it's almost like hot and cold, black and white. You know, Al Davis, he had total control. His son's like the opposite. I agree with you on that.
His son's the opposite, but the thing is, his son will enforce his authority if it's needed. So he does a lot of things that Al should have done, but we kind of, in a sense, need what Al would do. Like, honestly, we needed Mark Davis back in the day, and we needed Al Davis more now, in a sense. So like, I'm not going to sit here and just say Mark Davis really doesn't make a lot of the decisions. He supports the decisions that are made because he trusts the people who he hires. Al was the one who kind of second guessed, or if things didn't work immediately, he would be like, you know, he would be more hands-on. Mark isn't as hands-on as we would like him to be. but that's a good thing. But it can also, if you have such a dictator like Al Davis was, and we see that it's kind of, it could be a double-edged sword if it doesn't work and show immediate
backfire on you. Yeah. No, you're right.
Because we're so used to the old, and this is part of adapting and growing it. And this is a whole new regime.
If Al Davis was running this team, Josh McDummy would be out of here like the day the fucking season ends.
There wouldn't even
be
guys.
I agree with him on that. He would be. You're right.
No, they wouldn't even been hired.
They wouldn't even been hired. That's even better.
Well, he'd be gone. He might have been hired, but he'd be gone right now. He'd be gone today, though.
If he did get the job, he wouldn't have made it. He wouldn't have made it through the whole season. He probably would have been fired.
Exactly.
Yeah,
he'll hire him, but he'll fire his ass.
At any point in time, it'd have been that 24-0 against the Saints. He would have been fired right in and there.
Exactly. Like we fired Mike Shanahan.
If not before that, but definitely, what I mean, definitely at that 24-0, he definitely would have.
He would have got the Dennis Allen treatment.
Yeah, he would have had to find another.
He would have fired at the airport on the turf pad and be like, "Yo, find your own."
What me and Eric have been talking about is like, okay,
on his projector, right?
what Mark Davis is doing, he's trying to do the right thing by giving the right contract and the amount of control that a coach would want. But he's giving it to the wrong person. But Josh McDaniels is not the one to be making this investment in that Mark Davis is making, in my opinion.
But he didn't give the control to Josh McDaniels. He gave the control to Dave Ziegler. You know what I mean? Josh McDaniels is not in control. Dave Ziegler, the way it's
understandable.
supposed to be.
Understandable. I know you're technical and you're gonna go by exactly what I said, and that's what I said. Maybe it's not what I meant, but I'm saying like control means like you're the head coach of the team. That's the context that I meant it in. Maybe it's not exactly what I said, but that's what I was meaning to say.
All right. So with it being rephrased and context brought back into proper perspective, right? What, Twan?
No, I love this proper, dialogue.
Why are you laughing, Twan? You didn't say anything wrong.
So, no, look. One of the things that you got to understand, one of the things that we don't really sit back and take into consideration is that the fact Mark Davis sat on the sidelines and watched his father run this team. He saw him make a shitload of mistakes, shitload of enemies, you know what I mean? Shitload of bad decisions, right? Mm-hmm. And now he's in control. And what he's saying is, I want to get to what my father was talking about, commitment to excellence, you know what I mean? Just win. But at the same time, I ain't trying to really ruffle no feathers. I'm not well versed in this game like that, you know what I mean? I'm not invested like my father was, you know what I mean, who played the sport, coached the sport, did everything with the sport, was in love with the sport, right? Mark is not that, right? Mark is not that. Mark has been given control of his father's dream. He was left his father's dream. And what he's going to try and do with it now is quite possibly run it the right way. You understand? He has to go along to get along. He's not one of the good boys because he don't have that type of money. But what he can offer them is a luxury city like Las Vegas for you and your team to come to and your fans to come into, and that's going to generate revenue for me. It's going to generate revenue for you, and we're going to do what we can to put out a good product. But by him giving Ziegler control, what I'm taking from it, because I heard what JT had to say, right? So I asked this again. If Ziegler is the one who is in control, and you got, oh boy, I got a special guest backstage. Oh no, that's Loon. What's up, Loon?
What's up, Loon? I'm here. I'm listening.
For sure. Yeah. For sure. So what I'm asking is, since Ziegler is
Gabe?
in control, right? What's up with you, Gabe? Pull up, Gabe, if you want to. Links in the chat. I'll drop it again for you if you feel like coming on through. There it go right there. So if Ziegler is in control, right, and he's got Josh McDaniels as his coach, and they've already had the conversation of quite possibly not being where they want it to be, right? They're not where they want to be. They had a feeling this could be it, but yet and still they upped all these contracts. They gave Derek Carr his money, even though they wrote it a certain way. You know what I mean? I understand that. I've taken that into consideration. It's written a certain way to where they have an out, right? But if they have all of the control and they made this decision and they had this possibility, why can't we say that there is a strong possibility that everybody is back next year as they add a couple of more pieces either in free agency or through the draft, because they have, if I'm not mistaken, 13 picks in the draft. If I'm not mistaken, I believe they have 13 picks in the draft. So they can hit or miss in this draft. You know what I mean? But we hope they hit more than miss. You know what I mean? But you can take chances with having 13 picks, right? And you can address a lot of positions of your team with 13 picks. So what's not to say that they would not consider bringing everybody back next year, but with some added pieces to where, okay, now Derek Carr has had a year in the playbook. Devontae has had a year in the playbook. Some of these old linemen, such as, Colton Miller, Andre James, Dylan Parham, they've all had some time in this playbook, right? And then you pick up some, because there's some old linemen that go out on free agency market this year as well, right? So you can quite possibly pick up a few of those as well, and add that to your front line, but you can also address that in the draft as well, right? So what is there to say, like, you if I had to ask you what the percentage that you would give of this roster being back, you know what I mean? If this roster what would be the percentage of this roster coming back with all of that in consideration? Just what I said in consideration, what would be the possibility? What would be the percentage of, what I mean?
All will be back. All will be back. You can't answer that. It can't answer that because it's an incomplete season and shit can change. It can get better, it can get worse. So, I mean, if this was the end of the season right now, I would say 12%. But we got about 7 more weeks left. Where
say they win. All right, so say they win 3 more games.
Then I would say there's a 20% chance.
So how many wins would it take for you to get to like a 50-50?
A 50-50 to keep them? They would have to win 6.
You're talking about all 3: Ziegler, McDaniels, and Carr, or you're talking about the whole roster?
I'm talking about the stars of the roster. The front office is definitely coming back, right?
Okay, right.
The front office is definitely coming back. You already know that Josh McDaniels is coming back, right?
Yeah,
like
I think so
Josh
too.
is coming back. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm talking about the roster itself. I'm not talking about nothing else.
Okay, so who do you consider the stars that would?
Yeah, let's identify that core.
So the people that
that's a good question though. Good question.
So the people that they're saying won't be here next year, quite possibly, you're talking about Derek Carr not being here, quite possibly. You're talking about Devontae Adams not being here, maybe quite possibly requesting a trade because things ain't working out, and they let DC go, whatnot. That's why people are saying that he would want to trade, is because they let DC go and it was his best friend. And I've already shot that down. Look, if Devontae Adams decides to leave the Raiders, it's not going to be based on Derek Carr not being here. It's going to be based on the fact that they're not winning and he doesn't want to go through a rebuild. That is why he would request a trade. If that was the case, he would have stayed with Jordan Love.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying is that. Well, no, DC is the only reason he would stay on a losing team. That's the only reason he would stay and go through the turnover, like the turmoil that's going to happen of the turnover, and have to deal with all the bullshit in the locker room. The reason why I'm saying this team cannot stay the same is because you're going to have a broken locker room. The locker room is still broke. You still have too many guys who don't believe in it, don't trust it, or fit, or not even in not even in his leadership. They don't trust that the coaches are putting them in a bright light. Because every time they're put on the if I'm on the defensive side, there's no team that would want to pick me up. I would feel like with the
you know what though, hey Jason, but I think DC and DA know who those guys are in the locker room. They're not putting that 100% in, and those guys are going to be gone.
I can't say that. I can't say that they know all the guys. No, you don't, because I mean, if that was the case, then I mean, you can't read somebody just off of that. There's a lot of people who play the game good. They can be in your locker room and totally be a snake. You don't know that.
Yeah, they see it at practice and game time and
I
all
don't
that.
think it's from practice. I think it was from OTAs when people weren't showing up, where people weren't coming to the voluntary workout. When you have receivers, blowing it off to try and come learn the playbook. Hey, we're not going to get time in the game, so we need to actually get out here and get on this field and come do that. Only 3 guys were doing that. I was Renfro, DA, and Max were the only guys that were really hanging around Carr.
And Waller too. Yeah.
Waller.
So look, who would you consider? Who would you consider to be the true leaders on this team?
But I'm talking about actually like individual workouts where they would go and run routes of Carr with the playbook that he would have. It was only
Zay Jones did that too, but Zay Jones gone. Aguilar did that too. He's gone.
We're talking about this year.
They got their back.
Let's not go backwards. We talking about this year because they're not here, so they have no bearing on what's taking place on our team right now. You know what I mean? We talk about the players that are here didn't do that. You know what I mean? So let's focus on.
Yeah, and the thing,
and that's why I said that. That's why I said that they know who the players that put their time in, right? That's why I said that. DA and DC
are the real leaders on this team.
The thing is,
hold on, stop. I'm gonna go Fade because I didn't hear him. Then I'm gonna go Loon because Loon said something. Then I'm gonna come back to you, JT. Fade. What did you say?
No, I was just saying that DA and DC know those players that are out there that put their time in, right? Mm-hmm. So, and as you were saying, Jason, I respect everything you say, but they know what's going on in the locker room, right? So they know who those players are. We don't know, and like Dirty said, I think it was yesterday, the day before, he says all we can do is speculate right now who those guys are, right? But it is what it is. But hey. Next guy.
So, look, who do we consider to be the real leaders on this team?
There's only one.
Nah, it's gotta be.
I think. Look, it's Max, it's DA, it's DC.
Wait. Loon, you said who is the real leader of the team?
No, not leader, singular, plural. Who are the real leaders of the team? Plural.
And I'm answering it. There are none. There's only one.
Who?
Oh, Max is 2, and so I think Devontae is 2.
You got to put Devontae, Carr, and Max Crosby got to be the top 3.
Those are the 3 I would pick. Yeah.
They're not going nowhere. They're not going nowhere then.
And that's what I'm saying. You guys are hoping Max would be the leader. Is he developing into the leader? Yes. But you still got to understand that Max is still developing himself. Max is still doing his own thing. Max on the field, yes, but like actually, is Max a guy that players go to? Hey, I need you to talk to coach for me. Hey, I need you to do. He's not that guy. So when y'all keep like it's wishful thinking. Yes, do I want Max to be that guy?
That's
Absolutely.
valid.
But I'm gonna be honest. He wasn't that guy in college like that. He wasn't T.J. Watt. He wasn't J.J. Watt. He wasn't that big rah-rah guy that guys would go to. So that doesn't translate to the NFL if you're not doing it in college. In high
I think
school,
we're leaving off Perryman as a leader also.
I mean, Perriman is, but when
Yeah.
you strip the mic from him, and he's not relaying the message no more, now the coaches are tutoring someone else. So Perryman will have the players, but Diablo has the coaches. Diablo is the one getting the game plan. Diablo is the one who has to relate the messages that the coaches are saying and try and relate that to the players on the team and try and explain it to them in a language that they understand if they can't process it. That's why the team is so indecisive and they're moving slow, is because they have the guy who's relaying the message, they're not getting it from the coach. And we don't have enough veterans who understand what the coach is saying to relay that to someone who doesn't understand the language. It's like you have to have a translator. You can have a good translator who speaks good English
Yeah.
and Spanish, or a bad one who speaks good Spanish but doesn't really speak good English.
Dirty now.
And you know what? You saying that makes good sense, and that's why I'm saying Carl won't go nowhere because of that.
But the
Carl
only
has a year under his belt. He will be that translator.
But that's the thing. Carr is the only one who can do that.
Yeah,
But you're
that's why his value is for him to come barking at you.
yeah, but the problem is like he's getting at wit's end.
You can't waste a year with him learning the system and then let him go.
I understand that.
No, I also get what JT's talking about too, because when you are the leader and all this weight is on you, you know what I'm saying, and you're, you know what I'm saying, if in the context is saying that he's the only one that pretty much is all on his back, it gets too much. You know what I'm saying? He needs someone else to be, you know what I'm saying, to help him with that. You know what I'm saying?
He needs someone else to release the pressure. Like yo, man, like this shit is heavy. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like that model that it has where he's holding the world on his shoulders and it's just him. It's just him with this organization.
Alice.
Like the balance or whatever you call it, it's just him.
Atlas.
You know what I'm saying? He's managing 53 guys that are playing, and he's managing about 15 coaches. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, when you look at our team, there's too many guys in it. Like you see it, it's like, oh god, okay. It's like, where do I attack first? Who do I need to talk to first? Derek has never looked this dejected. 9 games into a season. He's had seasons where we've been bad. We've had quarterbacks we've had Jamarcus Russell never looked this dejected in a post game. Like this shit, that's how I know there are no leaders. They ran all the leaders who the players would go to talk to coach because I'm having a hard time. I could be having some girlfriend issues. I could be having some off the field issues, are all gone. Like that's why when people say, "Oh, Will Compton was trash or shit here," Will Compton was fucking amazing because he knew how to handle business. He knows the business side of the game. He also knows the player side. He is a phenomenal locker room guy. Alex Ingle was so important to this team because he's the NFL player rep. He automatically is for the players. But he also knows how to talk to owners. He knows how to talk to coaches. He knows how to delegate relationships and speak to people. So all those guys are gone. And Derek didn't have to do a lot of that. Derek was just able to just be the quarterback and quarterback the offense. And if he needed help, he had older guys he can go to. Now Derek's the older guy, but he doesn't have nowhere near the necessities and access to the assistance that he needs for a successful locker room. So right now, all the chaos and indecision and all this little pity patter shit, you see all these little arguments. Like, well, y'all don't know about them, but there's a lot of arguments. There's a lot of fighting. There's been like 3 or 4 fights in the locker room this year. Fist thrown with this team. That never happened last year.
And that makes sense why Farrell and them were a healthy scratch. Shit like that, non-football shit.
Yeah, all the guys who are of leadership qualities have like 4 or 5 years, or like 5 or 6 years.
So who did Perryman knock out?
And he wasn't active.
I don't know. I can't say.
Maybe he's the one that got knocked out.
But
no, he's not the one that got knocked out.
No.
He knocked somebody out.
Neil Farrell Jr.
No, for real. He knocked
I'm just
somebody out.
saying. Oh, did he? Okay.
He knocked somebody out.
Let's just say there's a reason why some people were healthy scratches from
He
certain
knocked
games.
out Fade.
There's a couple of reasons why guys who are healthy were DMPs for coach's decision.
And Josh Jacobs in his press conference also kind of alluded to that when they asked him that question. Well, they didn't ask him about a fight, but the way that he said it, he was like, "Yeah, it's been interesting." You know what I'm saying? So, listen to Josh Jacobs today.
I haven't seen it, man. I'll watch it after this show, but.
But honestly, he's the guy who needs to step up and take a lot of the reins off of DC, because guys will respect him because he is, as of play, you respect his play. He's producing, so guys in that locker room will respect him. So,
I think he's one of the team leaders, like you were saying. You asked if how many team leaders do we have on the team? It'd be Crosby, Carr, DA, and Jacobs. Those are my 4.
Did that Perryman and Klee fight just happen? That's why Klee was a scratch this week?
That's why I was asking that too, bro. That's why I was asking that.
That was last week. That's why both of them were.
Hey, they said it was non-football related.
So,
he didn't get knocked out in the game. He got knocked out in the locker room.
They said they found his tooth on the eye patch in the center of the floor in the locker room.
No. Hold on. So that all sounds funny and everything, bro. Let's really think about it. That shit is not okay, bro, for our team, bro. That shit is not okay.
That shit happened on every team.
We all know it's not okay,
it, bro. Look how big Klee is, and then look how big Denzel Perryman is, bro. And then Denzel knocks out Klee.
Ain't they about the same weight though?
They close.
They're close. Klee has longer arms, but
he's taller, and Perryman is shorter but stockier, and it's got the same weight, I think.
As frustrated as I am,
yeah.
I still.
Klee is 6'4", 265.
It don't mean nothing if you don't know how to fight. So,
the player that got bullied by Incognito was that with the Niners?
Incognito knows how to fight though. Richie
and Denzel Perryman is 5'11", 243. No. Don't laugh, bro. Because
you got knocked the fuck out.
No, it's just the reach.
Shorter motherfuckers tend to fight with more heart because they feel like they have more to prove.
Yes, sir.
Say that shit again.
He's actually mass wise, he's a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger because he's shorter. You know what I mean? And he's carrying the same amount of weight. But you got to think about Klee's reach at 6'4", you know what I mean, versus 5'11". Like your reach, you know what I mean? How you let a motherfucker get inside your reach? That means you
with no coordination.
You go low. Hey, and Jason will probably know about this. You hit a guy that's taller than you and got the reach on you. You go low. Drop him from the legs and on the ground. We're the same fucking size.
Hey, you just like hitting people in the balls.
Perryman either, bro. I wouldn't fuck with Perryman either, bro. I'm just being honest.
Faye, you got one more time to call me Jason, and I'm gonna. I'm he the business.
He gonna go wrong.
Hold on.
Wait, is it JT or is it Jason? What is it?
Hold on. Let me help him out. Let me help him
I'm
out.
sorry, brother. I'm sorry.
His-
JT, I'm sorry, brother. You know I love you, man.
Fade.
man.
So his name is the same name as the running back from the Colts, Jonathan Taylor.
Oh, John. Oh man, I'm sorry, brother.
That's how you can remember that.
Okay. I'm just gonna call you JT then. You cool with that?
I'm fine.
I thought it was cool in the game.
No, but I'm like, even with that, like, there was other fights, man, and like, I'm just waiting. Okay, there's two things that could happen. Fights can bring you together, or fights can totally break you. And honestly, the team isn't broken. They're not broken yet, but they are showing signs that the glue isn't holding up as much. Pieces are starting to fall. Like, we haven't shattered yet, but it's getting close. I mean, it's
I bet you
Hey,
this.
what was
I
the
bet-
fight over?
what happened.
I bet you Clee don't miss another tackle. I bet you don't miss another tackle.
Or a dental appointment?
But that brings up to my question. Like, I mean, I know Clee's not freaking a 10 sack, you know what I'm saying, leader or whatever, but what did Clee do wrong?
Hold on. You know what question you guys are overlooking? You know what you guys are completely overlooking? He said there's been fights in the locker room, coaches' decisions. Jonathan Abram got released in the middle of the fucking season out of the blue, bruh. He fits into that shit somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
my gut instinct tells me he fits into that shit.
Yeah, of course.
but I mean, I told y'all what happened. Or what was transpiring.
You ain't telling me, motherfucker.
He light skinned.
That too. The license down here.
They kicked out Petey.
No, like I said, if you're too vocal, and you don't support anything, you don't support what we're trying to do or what we're portraying, we'll ship you where you want to go. And I'm gonna be honest with you. There was another 24 who went to Green Bay as well.
Charles Woodson.
And their cornerback coach he's gonna be real good for it. He's gonna be real good for him. It was a good move, but he got to put the work in.
Hey, Versace is there too, right?
Rich is there. Who you think put the word in for him? Who you think put the word in for him?
Who did Blake Martinez get into it with?
Ding, 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 ding. Retirement.
Blake didn't get into it with anybody. Blake was a guy who was going to be the vocal leader for the defense, but he got hurt again, man. He hurt his leg again. He hurt the same leg that he had surgery on for the ACL and the MCL he tore. And he said, man, fuck it. I want to be able to play with my kids later on in life. You know? Then he sees the shit in the locker room. He's like, man, I can't fix this shit. He's like, I understand y'all begged me, but nigga, I tore my leg. Motherfuckers ain't putting it, you know? Motherfuckers ain't, you sold me something that I don't see with my own eyes. You said this team wanted it. This team was because you've seen what we did last year, but when you get in there this year and you see what's in the locker room, he was like, "Yo, man, that's not what you sold me to come here. I'm not gonna put my body on the line when these motherfuckers aren't putting in the extra time, aren't putting in the extra effort. They're not going to 2-a-days. They're not staying later to look at film. They're not staying later to just improve. They're not doing recovery correctly. Martinez didn't need no money because he was set, man. I hate when people say that. But I mean that could be an issue for other people. Some people already checked out, man. They already hit the 1, 2, 3 Cancun. They just getting a check. But Blake, but they're not saying it. But Blake, I think Blake tore his ACL again. So that's why he was like, man, fuck this team. He's like, man, I got a family, I got kids, And you know what I'm saying? Like I said, it could have been a quick bag for what I went through. But honestly, that shit ain't worth it. Because now I gotta go through rehab again. Now I gotta go through another surgery on my leg when I already had 3 surgeries. I gotta get a 4th surgery. Hopefully that's successful and I don't get a blood clot. I don't have, no nothing that could possibly get my leg cut off. Sometimes that shit ain't worth it. And you just hear people talk, or no offense, you be like people be posting stupid messages, man. Like there's a lot of guys on our team, a lot of young guys, you know what I'm saying, who just are there for the bag. They're not in it like fans are in it because of the love of the game. Players aren't like that no more. These players aren't bred like that. They're bred to take care of myself, take care of my family, make sure my finances are right. And if I have a chance to win, then I can get serious and I can flip on the switch. And that's what you're seeing now. Like the difference between us and Minnesota is they are winning their games like we did last year, and we're not. That's literally the difference. They were losing one-score games last year. We were winning them. Now you just flip-flop the teams. And the only thing that really changed was the locker room dynamics and the coaching dynamics and the chemistry. It's chemistry with Minnesota. Minnesota's the same team. But their chemistry got better. They became a unit. They became a family. And now those guys are playing for themselves. And they're not playing for themselves. They're playing for each other. The Raiders are playing for themselves. And that's how you lose one-score games. And a lot of times you can lose one-score games because of coaching. And that's when you're put in the wrong positions or you call wrong plays or, and it's a lot of things that can happen. Sometimes it could be just the player didn't make the play. He dropped the ball. That can happen too. I'm not going to say it was all on the coach because sometimes players drop a ball or DC might miss a guy, throw the ball behind or make a tough play or the offensive line ain't holding up or the defense just can't get off on 3rd down or we get, 3rd and 16, we get the 1st down, but there's a holding or there's illegal procedures. I'm like, those little things, that shit carries over into the locker room. Like, motherfucker, you can do that shit again? Like, how many fucking times you gonna line up incorrectly? See, if your ass would have been here in the playbook or been in the film room, that's how quickly that shit escalates. And then I'm a grown-ass man. Those are grown-ass men. You ain't gonna talk to me like I'm no bitch. Because that shit's gonna get around the league. Like that whole Martin situation with Miami, he can't play no more because he got bitched by Rich Incognito.
Yeah.
Nobody didn't want him after that. You can't be no bitch in there. That word travels fast. People talk.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So that whole do you think you gonna punk me era? That shit ain't happening with these kids now. You ain't gonna punk me. You're not. Like we're gonna scrap.
We're gonna scrap.
And a lot of these
you want to act like a big man, bro? Let's go outside, bro.
Mhm.
You want to act like a big man? Let's go, bro.
And the difference.
Perry, I think Perryman one of them motherfuckers. It ain't even gonna be no conversation. As soon as it's go time, nigga, he gonna start throwing. If you ain't prepared, you ain't because these younger cats, bro, they
That's
want
automatic.
to conversate. You know what I mean? Older cats, man, they just start off. Young cats, they want conversating shit. Not that. See, older niggas gonna
Push me. Push me. How dare you push me?
Hold on, you didn't even give no dialogue. Nah, nigga, fuck a dialogue.
No,
We had dialogue to get to this point.
Yeah.
But
That was dialogue.
But that was happening in Seattle though. See, and this is the thing why they were shipping off the wrong guys. The guys who were beating up guys last year that motherfuckers didn't know. After I whooped your ass, I talked to you and explained to you, hey man, this is the reason why I had to do this. I didn't do it just because I didn't like you, but they would talk with you and explain to you why I had to whoop your ass, or why I had to sock you, or why I had to yell at you and embarrass you in practice. Nowadays, you don't. We don't. But the guys who are supposed to do that don't know how to de-escalate after escalating. So what Josh is going to have to do? Josh has to see that. Like, man, fuck, I got to get these guys out of here. That's why that roster is going to be different. You can't.
That's that estrogen.
It's estrogen. It's a lot of things.
They got a hormonal imbalance.
And that's why I would love if this team could stay together, because it's only going to make this team more together next year, because it's going to be like how Minnesota grew or how the Jets grew. You know what I'm saying? But I think it's such a bad locker room. There's so much disarray.
Yeah, and Philadelphia too.
There's too many clicks. There's too many clicks. You got to break it up. It's literally like LA. You know what I'm saying? You go from one side of the locker room to the other side of the locker room, or this section. I mean, there's just too many.
You got to get the right personalities together.
Yeah, and the easiest way to fix it, unfortunately, is, man, I got to ship motherfuckers out of here.
Look, I think we'll get a win this
Purge.
week. But look, I think with what's going on, all of that, man, you know what I mean? It's quite possible that they come out and get a win this weekend. You know what I mean? They could beat the Broncos, man. It's not like the Broncos are great or nothing like that. You know what I mean? We beat them once. There's a strong possibility of beating them again, right? But if they can come out and just get some 75% of the team to play together. You know what I mean? I would love for it to be 100%. Everybody get on the same page, man. Look, all right, you don't want to be here, man, but you know what? In all honesty, you really ain't got nowhere else to fucking go right now. You stuck till next season.
Yep.
Nigga, get on board. Get on board or just don't fucking come. Stay the fuck home. If you don't want to rock with what we're doing, stay the fuck at home.
Yeah, it gives an opportunity to play for their next dollar. If you really think about it, man. If I was in a situation, I'm gonna ball out, and then if I have to go somewhere next year, fine. But you gotta prove your product too, right? You know, if you look like crap out there, you're not gonna get a contract next year anywhere else. That's the way I look at it.
It depends. It depends if you actually can play.
This all tells me Josh
I know.
Jacobs not going to sign back here next year. He's going to a team that's fully functioning.
Ern, don't tell me that, Ern. I've been talking about that too on some shows, man. Jacobs.
That's what this tells me.
What was that?
Josh Jacobs. Okay, look, since they didn't exercise Josh Jacobs' fifth-year option, he's a free agent at the end of the year, meaning he has his pick of the litter where he wants to fucking go. Like, he's going to have suitors calling for him. He's not coming back here.
Hey, I'll tell you right now, he looked real good on them Rams.
Oh my god.
Hey man, Twan, knock it off, man.
I mean, he would, but let's be honest.
I agree with you. He would, though. He would.
Well, the team, but there's not a lot. No, Seattle already got their running back. Walker's that dude. And he's a rookie. He's on their rookie contract. But Jacobs, I'm gonna be honest, it's a bad time for him.
I heard he got chlamydia.
Because he's not going to be able to get the contract he wants on another team. Because all the teams that are going to need a running back don't have the money to give him the running back money he wants.
Ooh, good point.
Like all the teams that wanted a running back, they got their running backs and they signed them to deals.
Yeah.
So honestly, his contract is just coming.
See him going anywhere?
I mean, can he go somewhere? Yeah, but what's lucky for the Raiders is that we can throw him the biggest bet.
How we're doing now. But
I mean, we can throw him the biggest bet, but then, I mean, depending on how the situation in Carolina fares, how they come along with their running backs and how they progress, I mean, he probably might end up there. But I mean,
I think Carolina likes the running back they got.
True, but we still improve.
The thing with Carolina is you got to wait to see what their head coaching situation is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because right now they're operating on a interim head coach who is actually not doing bad, bro. You know what I mean? I believe he's definitely, well, he automatically gets the right to go in and at least, you know what I mean, stake his claim since they gave him this ability. You know what I mean? So he definitely gets a chance to go in and have his little sit down and talk. And hopefully he gets the job. You know what I mean? Truthfully, because he's really doing a good job down there in Carolina. And you know what I mean? I'm pulling for the man to get the job. You know, but gotta see what they do. If they stay with him, I think there's a strong possibility he sticks with the running back that he has because you know what I mean, you gotta remember, he's the one that traded away McCaffrey. You know what I mean? He's the
right.
coach. He's the coach that traded away McCaffrey for the running back he has now.
Who was that? Chuba Hubbard.
I don't think he had any say in it. I think that was just all GM.
Nah, I think when they gave him the interim head job and it's like, what do we need to do to turn this around? He was like, this is what we need to do.
You don't ask an interim coach that.
Man, you do ask the interim coach that, man.
Then that means he's getting hired to be the coach.
Fired the other guy for a reason. So when you brought this guy in, you said, hey, look, what we got to do? Because the other coach wasn't doing the right things. You're not going to ask a man to come in and do the same shit the last man was doing. Run your team into the ground.
So then you're saying he's getting hired. Because why are you going to ask him all those? Those are big decisions for someone who's just an intern that you're just getting rid of at the end of the year.
Hey, look at all the moves they made after he became coach.
And that's what I'm saying, how it wasn't his decision. Because if you ask him, I bet he was like, I would rather not give up Christian, but I want what I got. And he's working with what he got. He's doing what he needs because he's giving the authority to the people who need it. He's delegating accordingly, and he's focusing on what he needs to focus on. But as for player personnel moves, hell, no intern coach is going to have any say on that. They might ask for insight on how do they think, hey, can you give me like a grade on how he's been doing? Has he been healthy? What are the trainers saying about him? They might ask for insight, but actual decision making, absolutely not. They didn't go to him and ask him, what do you think? If they did, that means he got the job and he's getting hired. You only do that if you hire him. You don't do that if he's just an intern. Because that's just like the Raiders going to Rich Bisaccia and saying, hey, should we go, get Devontae Adams or should we trade out?
If he's an interim, he's not going to be here long term. So why would you ask him long term questions? I mean, yeah. Yo, I think Josh Jacobs is going to end up with the Chicago Bears, bro, because they can pay him, and he's built for he's a Chicago style running back.
I think he's back here next year. I think
they just shipped that Chicago's completely ripping it down.
He's got to get 1,000 yards to come back, bro. I think that's the target. If he gets 1,000 yards, he comes back.
My nigga, he's at like 825 already.
I think he needs 1,100.
What does he have right now? You said 825.
I'm estimating. I'll look it up and I'll give you a real number.
Yeah, he got like what 130 to 40 yards in 3 games in a row. Huh?
He may be in between that like 600 to 800.
Yeah, he's 900. No, he's 821 right now.
821. Yeah. See, so I said 6 to 9. 6 to 9 is what I meant to say.
We're looking at half the season now, so we got.
Oh, he'll be back.
Yeah,
he'll be back. You almost got 1,000 yards. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You almost got 1,000 yards.
Well, he'll get it. He'll get it.
How many touchdowns he got, Ern?
What, 6, 7?
No, he's got more than that. He got 3 in one game. Didn't he get a hat trick in one game?
Won every game though. Hold on. The thing is, he won every game though. He ain't
yeah.
How many touchdowns? 8. Raider Takeover says 8.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So,
good job,
800 over 800 yards with 8 touchdowns. So he needs 300 more yards, 3 more touchdowns, and he's back next year.
He's got 7 right now. He's projected for 13. And projected for he's projected for 1,500 yards.
I'm saying,
and remember, we have one more game
bro.
Now we have 17 games now. So.
15 and 13, you know he's coming back.
Oh yeah.
You can't let that walk out the door.
Hell no.
No, if he
That's one of his best seasons ever.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with you. He doesn't look at the Raiders. He's gonna exercise himself. Now you have to throw a bag at him to keep him from leaving. Now
As
I
he
got
should.
now I have the value.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I ain't
Yeah.
got to I ran for 1,500 yards. Who else ran for 1,500 yards? I can claim
Yeah.
best back of the NFL right now, and I'm only getting better. So now teams might throw a bag at me carelessly. Well, I would think about going to Chicago if they're gonna throw me 20 million.
Yeah. No,
So
you're right.
look at when they drafted Zamir White, though. I understand what you're saying, Panda Top. You know what I mean? You said, what's the point of drafting Zamir White, though? You know what I mean? Look, Zamir White is going to be developed into that short game back, is what they're trying to do with him. And I don't know if you guys saw when and how they used him. You know what I mean? They tried to get him to, you know what I mean, in that short down situation, and it didn't fare well. You know what I mean? He's going to have to put on a little bit more weight, but that's what they're trying to do. He was coming in third down, too. They're trying to convert him into that third down back that can back Jacobs up, but still be explosive, but be a little bit stronger and be able to catch out the backfield. You know what I mean? So that Josh can be first, second down, and then that third down long situation, you know what I mean, where they want to have a run threat or a passing threat on the field, that's when they're going to use Zamir White. You know what I mean? And he's on a cheaper deal than the vets. You know what I mean? That's there. Let's be honest. I don't think Brandon Bolden is coming back next year. He hasn't been used very much. So
What about Abdullah though?
He may come back. He may not.
It's too early to tell. It's too early to tell on Abdullah.
McCormick is on IR. Don't forget about him.
That's why I said he may not. He may not. You know what I mean? It's a little too early to tell him, but Brandon Bolden is definitely gone, bro. You know what I mean? So Zamir was drafted to be that running back that kind of be a mirror image of what they want from Josh Jacobs. You know what I mean? But be able to be that passing threat and be that third down back, which is in all honesty what I really see him as. You know what I mean? Because that's gonna prolong the tread on his tires as well as Josh Jacobs' tires, which means you can have two really good dominant backs going into the future. You know what I mean? For the next 3 to 4 years, you can still have two really good dominant backs, one on a well-deserved contract and one on his rookie deal. You know what I mean? So your book and production balances out, and you can focus somewhere else on your other needs. So
that's been our downfall for the longest. We've always had, you know what I'm saying, the main running back, but we never really had that second running back. You know what I'm saying? How long have we been having Josh Jacobs and not really having somebody to help him out? You know what I'm saying? So
all we had with Rashard and Washington back in the day. You're right. Those are the only backup running backs we had.
But honestly, I don't know. For me, honestly, Zamir White was insurance. If Jacobs got hurt, he literally is almost a carbon clone of Josh Jacobs. He just doesn't show the burst that Jacobs had this year, or the vision. And also y'all forget Brenton Brown is still there, and he's going to be the third down back because he's the best blocking running back. That's young, as well as he has the best hands out of the receivers.
Yeah,
it's just. He's just not getting run right. Well, shoot, there's only one guy getting run, and he's just so far down on the depth chart. But Bolden being gone, Abdullah, if they release Abdullah, there goes your three back system right there. You brought him in for a year to tutor these guys. Now they'll be ready for next year if they keep Josh. But if Josh is gone, you already got his replacement as Zamir White. And now you got your backup with Brenton Brown if he gets hurt, and you can always bring in a guy off free agency if that happens.
But I
if
don't
one of
think
them get
either, I
hurt.
don't think either one of those guys, Britton Brown or Zamir White, as much as they're similar to Josh, they're not special like Josh, bruh. Josh is making people miss in the backfield all the time. All of his good runs is because he made somebody miss behind the line.
That
No,
Like I don't see that with Zamir and Britton Brown. As much as I like both of them, I just don't see that special, like that's something special in them like I do with Josh. You feel me?
they haven't had an opportunity.
I
Well,
think that, well,
they
I
don't
think
get
that comes with experience, though.
yeah.
And I think what we're seeing with Josh Jacobs this year is you know what I'm saying, him really in the film room. You know what I'm saying?
Not a lot of noise going on.
Is that you, man, with the sound?
Nah, I don't got nothing going on.
Nah, it's Loom.
I just don't like the fact that I mean we do have we got to save Josh's legs and all, and we have a lot of guys marinating on the sidelines. You know, we like you guys are mentioning some great running backs that we have. As far as we know, we're only going by what we saw in preseason. And I'm just saying, man, who's the guy to keep? Who's the next man up, right? So we have to prepare with Josh leaving. I think he's top 3 in the league. I mean, where would you guys put Josh right now? Running back right now in the league.
Definitely
top 5? Yeah, top 5? Yeah.
Definitely
Top
top 5.
5? I don't know. I mean, to top 5? No. Top 10, maybe.
Critique, what's good, brother? Salute, man.
So critique.
I'm saying, yeah.
Raiders 32Z, what's good with you, man? Salute to you.
Yeah, I got top 10.
What's good, man? How you doing, team?
I mean, what are the backs are we putting above Josh? Are we putting Derrick Henry above him?
Derrick
yeah.
Henry,
Are we
Delvin.
putting Jonathan Taylor above him?
No.
Yes.
Are we
No.
putting Dalvin Cook above him?
No. Wait. Whoa. Slow down. Because when we go with Ern, man, I need clarification. What we talking about, overall or this season?
Overall best back. Who's the better
I'm
back?
talking this season.
No, hold on. I'm talking.
Who's the better back?
I'm talking this season.
Listen.
Yeah.
The reason we're talking this season because we're talking about at the end of the year. We're talking contractually. So we're talking about who's a better back this season. Top 5 this season, not career.
JT, man.
JT is not, bro. No.
He's
No.
an every down back. You
Bro,
can't.
he's been hurt all year.
He's still an every down back, and he's a better
Nah,
back.
man. Bro, he ain't put in the work Josh Jacobs put in this year.
Do you question re-signing Jonathan Taylor?
Man, we talking about this
Do you
year.
question signing? You wouldn't question re-signing him, though.
With the injury history he has now, I would.
Who are the coach built around? In the discussion, they build around him. We don't build around.
We talking about production this year, bro. He is not above Josh Jacobs in the top 5 conversation this year of running backs, bro. He's not.
Barkley, Nick Chubb, and Derrick Henry. There you go.
That's
He's
about
not.
it for me too.
Good one, 10 Henry. 10
I
Henry.
This year, who's been a better back? Dalvin Cook.
Josh Jacobs.
Dalvin Cook, Derrick Henry,
Numbers.
Saquon Barkley, the kid from the Jets.
What about Chubb? Chubb too, right? No.
Etney's been good.
The guy Eckler.
Right? Yeah.
Shit, Tony Pollard, if he gets majority of the carries. I'm like, that's 6 right there.
Hold on, let me stop you. Let me stop you. So Saquon Barkley is leading the league with 931. Derrick Henry is behind him with 923. Nick Chubb is behind him with 904. Next in line is Josh Jacobs with 821. Damian Pierce 772. Justin Fields 749.
You're just basing running
Aaron
yards.
Jones 738 and Dalvin Cook is 727. He's a whole 100 yards behind Josh.
Okay, you're basing it off of yards, but that whole,
what they will give it.
is based around.
Okay, so average per carry, Dalvin Cook is 5.0, Josh is 5.2. But Saquon Barkley is leading the league at 4. He only has 4.7 average though.
Props to Team Raider, man. He put those names out there that you just mentioned.
What is the one thing all running backs want to have next to their name at the end of the season?
Right.
Rushing yard title for the season. That determines the number one back in the NFL for running backs.
For running back, you said who's a better back. Rushing yards
Yes.
don't determine who's over, because I could still be. I could
We're
still.
talking about JT. We're basing it on performance of this season. We're not
Okay, you
talking
can
about
still-
last year or
backfield.
what you think he could do. We're talking
Okay, so-
about what has been done this year.
This
Looking at
year.
what has been done this year up to this part of the season.
So are we talking about?
If you had to have a running back for the first half of this season, who was better, Josh Jacobs or Jonathan Taylor? It was Josh Jacobs because Jonathan Taylor has been hurt and he's still nursing that injury.
I would say Jonathan Taylor. The Colts don't win games without. The Colts don't win games. They don't win games without them.
Where's
Where's
Jonathan Taylor on that list, Ern?
Okay. Can you overall production, including receptions, including third down play calling? I mean, they're built around him.
Josh.
I mean, I hear your argument, but that's like, okay, so we're just talking about running yards and rushing yards. I don't think Saquon's a better back than Derrick Henry. I don't think he's a better back than Nick Chubb. I don't even think he's a better back than Dalvin Cook this year. I have guys who are below Josh Jacobs that are better backs than Saquon Barkley.
On 129 carries, 609. What's Josh got? $159 carries. Yeah, he's a more dependable back. He's getting 5.2 yards a carry versus 4 points, whatever. And he can't carry the workload.
So he's number 4 right now, too, right?
Man,
How many games did
yards. Let me see.
Barkley, Henry, Chubb. Yeah, I that's why I said top 5, man. I see that.
Jonathan Taylor's played in 7 games.
He's played in 7 games.
His average is 4.7 per carry. Josh Jacobs averaging a whole half a yard.
Hey,
per carry.
J-Dub, you right,
But
too.
it-
All them running backs have better O-lines as well. They all have better O-lines as well.
The Colts O-line is just as bad as ours.
Yeah, exactly. And Josh is doing more.
And we just lost to them.
Exactly.
Who outplayed who? Who outplayed who? Because I believe Jonathan Taylor outplayed Josh.
Their defense is a lot better. Their defense is a lot better than our defense.
Bro.
Hold on. I will say,
Yeah.
their team stuck with it more. But again, I have Jonathan as a better back overall. He's a 3-down back. He's a 4-down back. He's a 4-down back. You can't say that with Josh Jacobs. And if you're not a 4-down back, you're not a top 5 running back. I don't care how much production you are, because when the time gets down where it's in 3rd or 4th down or it's a blitz pickup, he ain't even going to be in the game. It's not a complete run. You're a top 5 running back. You're a complete running back. He's not a complete running back. So don't
It comes down to the trenches, though, JT.
You
It
have
comes
to
down
be
to
a
the trenches,
complete running back to be
right?
top 5.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Because I've seen Josh Jacobs on the field for 4th downs, going for 4th downs.
So
I was going to say,
Lined
tell me why he's not a 4th down running back.
they bring in Abdullah. They don't trust his hands.
But
And
that's
that's been
on
two,
3rd
there's
down.
been two
But they
different
trust
coaching
him to do his job on 4th down if need be.
2 different coaching staffs have done that to him. He doesn't pick up blitzes well, according to these teams, to these coaching staffs. I'm sorry. Do I want to sit here and say, yeah, does he have the potential? Yes. But to sit here and say he's one of the top 5? No, because by your standard, Justin Fields is a top running back, and he's a quarterback.
But he's the number 1 running back on their team.
He's a quarterback.
But he's the number 1 running back on their team.
He is a quarterback.
But he's the number one running back on their
No,
team.
it's a running quarterback. He just runs the ball.
Like a running back. They have a running back playing quarterback.
So Lamar Jackson's the running back too?
Nah, he different.
But he's on that
He can
list
actually
too.
throw.
He's
He
on the
can
list
actually
too.
He can actually throw.
But I'm saying, okay, but then that's what I'm saying. Because if we're going to talk about running talent, Lamar Jackson is probably one of the best guys in the league at running talent when in open field.
Lamar Jackson don't have top.
But I'm like, I'm
Lamar
gonna
Jackson
be
is not
real.
running like he was in the previous years.
Who?
Lamar is
Because
not running.
he's trying to get quarterback money. He's trying to prove, hey, I'm a quarterback.
Hold on.
Hey, hold on. Can I say something? Can
Hold
I
on,
say something real quick?
let-
Josh
hold on,
Jacobs.
Hold on, Ern. Hold on. I want let me respond to Dave first, and I get you.
Let me finish my statement.
Earns on.
No, I have a stat that I was gonna throw out there real quick. Go ahead.
Hold on, wait, no, don't assist him. Let him go first. Man down. Stop tag teaming.
Look, I understand he's trying to get quarterback money. What I'm saying is, when you look at the two between Fields and Lamar, Lamar is still a better throwing quarterback than Justin Fields.
Yeah.
Lamar also has better targets to throw to than Justin Fields does right now.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean? He also has a running back stable back there that he can hand the ball off to as well, so he can throw a little bit more. Chicago ain't got that. That's why he's the number one running back on their team. I understand what you're going to tell me about he's trying to get that quarterback money, but at the same time, they're also putting weapons around him for him to be a quarterback because he is a better thrower than fucking Justin Fields is. Let's just be honest about that. We've seen Justin Fields throw the ball. That's why he's not on pace with his wide receivers. They need more time on task to get to know each other, because he doesn't throw the best ball that he can. But Lamar is a better passing quarterback than Justin Fields. And you can't argue me that he's not. Look at his numbers.
The argument you put up says otherwise. You're saying he produces more because of the players around him. But if Justin Fields is putting up similar numbers,
I'm talking about from a passing standpoint. The reason why we're not seeing Lamar break out and have more rushing yards than like he's had in the past seasons is because now he actually has something around him to where he can actually prove he is a passing quarterback, just like he can be mobile. Because that's always been the knock on him, and the way that Baltimore has been running their offense is that their pieces have been getting hurt, and they haven't been able to depend on some of the pieces that they had right in the past. They just didn't pan out. So Lamar had to get outside the pocket to make things happen. Now you have wide receivers there that are actually making things happen on the passing route wise, which is giving Lamar better targets to be able to actually throw the ball down the field. So he doesn't have to depend on his legs as much. Justin Fields is in the same situation that Lamar Jackson was in the previous years, where he had to run a little bit more until their timing was put together, till the pieces were brought around him. You know what I mean? So that's the way I'm looking at it right now, is that Baltimore is actually starting to build a little bit more around Lamar so he doesn't have to run as much as he starts to get up in his veteran years as a quarterback, because he's not going to be able to do that for forever. So now is the perfect time to where you have to now start putting things around Lamar Jackson in order for you to get the best out of him, because his legs ain't going to be that in the next 2 years. Let's just be honest. You can't argue me different. You know this game. You know that this is the time where they have to start developing his arm and his pocket presence as a quarterback if they want to be able to keep him around for longer. And yes, he'll still be able to use his legs if he doesn't use them as much as he has been in the past. Tell me I'm wrong, JT. Please tell me I'm wrong. Stu, what's good with you, man?
I guess I'm gonna bring out my facial features for this to tell you that I think you're wrong.
Okay.
Think you're wrong? He's always had a tight end. He's had receivers. He's had Hollywood Brown. He's had Andrews. He's had I don't think not Todd. Who was the guy after Todd Heap? He's had weapons. Now, has he had down the field threats like throughout his career? No. But he's had receivers that have come through there. Now, did they build the offense and the scheme like they are now to be more pass friendly than in prior years? Yes. They are giving him more authority. They are more confident in his arm. They are more confident in his decision making. But they slowly developed that because they've always been a run heavy team first. They were a ball dominant team. They were just moving the sticks and they would grind because they had all them stable running backs back there. That's just the Harbaugh style of offense. But he's had receivers. Now, as you said, did some of them pan out the way they wanted to, or did they hit in the draft? No, I can get that. But that was possibly because of their scheme that they ran, because they were handcuffing their passing game so much. Now Justin Fields is.
Can you name me?
Go ahead. Can I name you what?
Stu, what's good with you, man? Thanks for the $2 shot to the channel, man. Appreciate you. Link is in the channel. If you ain't doing shit, Stu, pull on up. Come hang out with us, man. Come talk some shit.
Stu's comment. Come on. He did Michael Vickers.
Yeah, he did.
Big facts.
I apologize. Go ahead, JT. Finish up.
No, you said you forgot it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Aaron, what was the stat you was gonna bring up? Oh,
you motherfuckers ain't shit.
I got back to you, man. Look.
So you were saying that Josh Jacobs is not a every down back. I beg to differ. So this year, in the passing game, he has 37 targets and 31 catches, 200 yards, 6.5 per. I mean, I think they pretty much trust him in the passing game, bro.
I said, is he in on 3rd and 4th downs?
Yeah.
Yeah, he is in on 3rd and 4th downs this season.
How many times was he taken out just last game on 3rd down? How many times did we take him out and put Abdullah in? Like, come on, guys. They don't
different situations, bruh. He's in more than he's not.
But it's not even a question with the other guy. You don't even question it. Like, you question why is he not in the game. You don't ever question that with Josh Jacobs. That's why I say I understand. Is he being more productive? Statistically, yes. But to sit here and say, is he a better back from 1st down, 2nd down, 4th down?
What's the measuring stick of running backs?
Who's the for me? Who's more dangerous on every play? 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. Do you have to spy for him?
What's the measuring stick for running backs?
Yards.
Hey, Loon, what's the measuring stick for running backs?
Loon working.
Fade, what's the measuring stick for running backs?
Rushing yards. Rushing yards.
I don't know. I'm just saying.
That's for you guys.
You should be able to catch You should be able to catch the rock, but rushing yards is a measuring stick.
Hey, what is it called at the end of the season? The rushing yard king. You know what I mean? Like he's the rush leader.
And I've known a lot of rushing yards kings who've gotten traded to other teams the very next season or didn't get picked up off of free agency because they were in contract years. I know that happens a lot too. I know Le'Veon Bell played for 5 or 6 teams, but he was the rush yard king. I know.
He's a cancer though, bro.
Le'Veon Bell is different, bro.
I know we not going the Le'Veon Bell route.
Now we're going to
you might as well say Antonio Brown too. Shit.
Wait. Let's address this. You brought up Le'Veon Bell.
Don't
Let's lay
listen.
all the
No. I
stop.
said,
Nope.
your
Nope.
your
Did it. You
grading
shouldn't
scale,
did it.
by your
Let's
grading
lay
scale,
all the
your
facts on the
grading
table.
scale. I
Let's
said
lay
by your grading.
all the facts on the table on Le'Veon Bell.
No.
Then
We're
let's
not
lay
going to
all
we're
the
not
facts
gonna
out
move
on Le'Veon Bell, bro.
We're not going to
Lay out
move
all
the
the facts.
goalposts. You're not
Yes,
going to
but rushing yards game,
Hey,
JT.
hold up.
Y'all said the
Jonathan,
grading scale was the rushing yards. I brought up
Jonathan Taylor got AFC Offensive Player of the Week because of rushing yards, right?
now you're moving the goalposts. Y'all said rushing yards.
No,
Le'Veon
you
Bell.
moved the goalposts when you brought him up.
How did I move the goalposts? Because of what? Because he was rushing yard king?
Bro,
Because
but
he's rushing? He was the most productive running back?
You can't bring up him being traded or moved or anything like. You can't bring him up in the conversation of that. No.
Why would you let
that? No, Reese Bean, he forced his way out of Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
That's a total different situation with Le'Veon Bell. He
guy.
forced his way out of where he was at.
Because he knew his value. I'm that guy.
No. Take him out the situation. Take
But
Le'Veon Bell name out of that. Nope.
So you're saying Josh Jacobs can't do that?
He's not
Josh
going
Jacobs
to.
can't do that?
He's not going to.
Chris Johnson.
If Josh Jacobs was gonna go to Le'Veon Bell,
I keep dropping names.
Stop. Hold on. Because I'm literally just talking about the Le'Veon Bell. The other names you can rock with those. But look at the Le'Veon Bell situation. If Josh Jacobs was going to pull a Le'Veon Bell situation, when they declined his 5th-year option, he would have never taken the field. He would have just not played. He would have just lost money like Le'Veon Bell did for Pittsburgh. But he didn't do that.
Yep.
Josh Jacobs elected to play. So you can't tell me you can't sit here and put Le'Veon Bell in this same conversation as of what we're talking about right now, because that is two totally different situations. He forced his way out of Pittsburgh. He refused to play for them for damn near half the season. You know what I mean? And then when he got to the Jets, he did the same damn thing. He became a cancer for them, where they were forced to release him because it wasn't working out, and they released him in the middle of the season. Then he goes to Kansas City with a coach, you know what I mean, that can actually get players to produce and be somebody, and he was just toxic, bro. He fucked his own career up with his own antics and his own attitude, bro. I don't want to hear shit about Le'Veon Bell. He cannot be defended with me because he caused issues in the NFL that really, look, I get it. It was about your money, but after you got your paper, what did you do? You did nothing, bro. You fucked yourself up.
So you're talking about character. I'm not talking about character. We were talking about production. I get what you're saying.
But no, we were talking about rushing yards.
You said what? No, earned
or not picked up afterwards, and then you brought up Le'Veon Bell and the whole.
Because you said what was the grading scale? No, you said what was the grading scale for the run? You said what was the grading scale for running backs? I said okay, if we're gonna do that,
I'm gonna actually make a clip of that, and I'm gonna rewind that.
No, he said.
Because what you said, because the topic was, and the words were, and Ern knows, I get specific with the words.
Measurables.
Ern can tell you, bro, I get specific with the words and what you say and what it is I hear.
The question was, what is the measuring stick for
measurables? Yeah. Ern's right.
The words you said, I know players that were rushing yard king holders that were either traded or released or not picked up and re-signed in free agency. And the first name you came out with was Le'Veon Bell. And I said, stop right there. Don't go no further with the Le'Veon Bell situation. Stop. Let's lay it out on the table. Look at what you're saying with Le'Veon Bell. I don't want to hear about Le'Veon Bell. Now, the rest of your running backs you have valid points with. But the Le'Veon Bell situation is something completely different, bro. He fucked himself over. It wasn't that the Pittsburgh Steelers didn't want him anymore for his talent. They didn't want him anymore for his antics, and he didn't want to be there anymore. And from there, it all spiraled down into a bad oblivion and a bad situation for him. So please,
and all I'm doing was responding to the question. That's
And the
all
sweet
I'm
potato
doing.
pies ain't shit either.
Responding to the question. That's all I
without
was doing.
Le'Veon Bell.
Okay, well, then you can stop the play.
Hey, look at Shady. Different situation.
Like, but again, like, okay, for me, my grading scale is different because all y'all say, if you're not available, or if you know you're part of the problem, if you're not available for me, to where I have to question if I need to put you in on third or fourth down, you can't be in my top 5 because top 5 is.
Well, it's interesting that you say that. Talk about availability because he's been hurt.
I was just gonna say that too. Hey, go ahead, Ern. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, JC. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
You're right. He was hurt. But okay, if he plays those 2 games just at his average, who has more yards?
But he
Josh
didn't because he was hurt.
5.2 versus 4.7. If we're talking about average, Josh Jacobs has 5.2 yards a carry versus 4.7.
The only difference is that Jonathan Taylor gets a higher volume of carries because he gets a higher workload. That's the only difference.
No, his coach sticks with the running game because they didn't really have anything, because for a couple of games, Matt Ryan wasn't out on the fucking field. Reason why their head coach was fired, because Matt Ryan wasn't playing. Now, our coach decides to abandon the running game when he shouldn't, and that's one of the reasons Josh Jacobs' numbers takes a tumble, because when we should stick with the run game, we don't. And when we should, we do. And yeah, like, bro, you know.
Hey, man, we're always talking about the offense, but look at our defense, man. You just mentioned Matt Ryan. What do he run? He ran like 30 yards.
Because we know our defense is trash, so there's no need to talk about it.
No, we're not doing that. We're not saying that.
Everybody wants to talk about that one run.
I don't want to go to the defense. I don't want to go to the defense.
You want me to tell you why he had that big run? Because nobody expected that shit. So we were in a complete defense where we were completely ignoring the quarterback coming out of the back. Who would have thought Matt Ryan is going to take off for 39 yards? That's why you don't when you game plan, you don't even plan for that, bro. That's why it was so open. It was a one-time thing.
Hey, man, Matt Ryan.
That's your opinion, man, but
hey,
I don't care.
Matt Ryan went home
No
and got
player
some
should
head
be
with that
able to
one.
run
He
that.
walked in, wifey was like, I saw you run for that 39 yards. Let me reward you. Get over here. Get over here. Give me some of that. Give me some of that.
Some of that Georgia Dome.
I want to see Carr run 40 yards like that. You know,
he did already over this year. He did this season.
Yeah. What are you talking about?
I'm not a car hater. I'm not a car hater. Let's pump our brakes right now. I'm not a car hater, okay? So
Haven't you seen
but
our movies?
I'm just saying. But what I'm saying is, you just said it right now that nobody would expect Ryan to run 40 yards. Nobody would expect Carr to do that either because he sits in the pocket.
They spy on Carr the next game. They started spying for Carr. What are you talking about, Fade?
No. I don't hate Carr, bro. Okay.
No, I get that. He just chooses not to. But even though Carr doesn't run, they still put a spy on him. They still have a guy in the middle field who watches that. And then when they see he doesn't go, then he blitzes in. Like that happens. Matt Ryan is like a 5-second 40 quarterback. No one's scared of his speed. He gets ran down by our defensive tackles. He's slow as molasses, bro. He might be slower than Dan Marino.
Oh, don't talk about Dan Marino or John Elway, man. Those are the guys I grew up watching, man.
John Elway was actually decently like fat. He was
no, they were great. They were great quarterbacks. They were great quarterbacks, man.
Dan Marino, just that guy had one of the greatest arms ever.
Oh, yeah. Oh, here he goes. He's gonna slow us down for a minute.
You know
I
what's
like how
gonna
Dirty does it. Dirty will do this.
Oh my God.
Aaron, you need to get some booty, bro. If you can
No,
understand.
Dirty does that, man. Things are getting heated. He
Nigga.
just throws this shit
Nigga.
on. Slow shit down.
Nigga.
Hey,
nigga.
they want to see
Hey.
Dan Marino.
Hi,
Hey,
Shirley.
hey, nigga, look at the hips on that motherfucker though.
Aaron, bro, you know you can meet Luella, man. She's
Look
very.
at the shit on that critter.
If you want, we can go to Miami and I could go introduce you, man. She's very. Like, she ain't all that, bro.
Hey, JT, hook me up then, bro.
Nigga,
Okay,
you
so
gonna
look,
go to
look,
Miami?
compared to the ones compared to the normal ones Dirty be showing on here, nigga, that's a goddess.
Her? Not really.
Compared to the normal ones Dirty show on this
Hey,
motherfucker, bro.
these bras in Vegas smell like Hennessy and Newports.
You just look at that body, bro. She ain't got the prettiest face, man. To be honest with you.
The hips. Reminds me of
Man,
my ex.
Go to Miami, you'll see that on every corner. I'm not saying she's ugly.
Okay. As long as we
I'm
understand she ain't
ugly. I'm just saying, like, come on, man.
That nigga JT is just being the contrarian. He's just finding anything to argue with a motherfucker about, bro.
Because this is common. She's like, bro, if you
Guerrero's fucking with me again. Hey, Michael Guerrero, are you gonna do this again? We were just on a show earlier. This mother.
What do you say? Fade like Adam's apple?
No, he always says kick fade out. He always says kick fade out. But no, we were on earlier, man. He's cool. We were on Ern's show actually.
Usually I agree with JT on most things with football. That motherfucker tripping, bro.
What am I talking about, man? I've seen this, man. You just need to hang out with me like just 2 weekends, man. 2 weekends, you be straight.
Nigga, y'all ain't got nothing like that in Arizona, motherfucker. Y'all got a bunch of Red Rocks and motherfucking Phoenix Suns jerseys.
Feel like saguaro cactuses.
Look, I'm gonna tell you right now, man. The white girls of old are not built like the white girls of now. They built different. They built.
Hey,
these
Circus, you know what? We were good, but I don't like this shit. I've never done you wrong. I don't know why you're putting that shit in there. But everybody that's on the panel right now, I'm cool with.
He's just fucking with you, Fade, bro. Don't trip. Circus.
No.
Cool.
I don't know Circus, man. He's in the minor leagues, bro. So he's never on a show. Mike G's cool. Mike G's cool.
Terrence said the same thing.
No,
now you know.
Don't ever say hi to me again on a fucking panel, man.
Stop.
What did he say?
Well, I'm not the one putting shit out there. He is.
Okay, let's review what Circus. Did Circus say something about you, bro? What did Circus say about you, bro?
Great point, and I agree.
You know what? I'm not going to give him my time. So let's go. What were we talking about? Go ahead.
No, they told me a hater. Ern, bring your ass out to Arizona. I'll take you to 3 spots. And you keep forgetting we still have Latinas out here and sisters.
Well, first off, so you don't know Circus Raider, right? So Circus Raider is very funny, bro. Whenever Circus is here, since you don't know him, Faye, let me explain something to you about Circus, because Circus is actually a really good dude, right? Circus is actually a really good dude.
No, he's always been respectful. Every time I go on the chat,
jokes. Is Michael cracking a joke? Was Michael cracking? You were okay with what Michael said, right? As a joke, because you know it's a joke, right?
Mike G and I are cool.
Wait, hold on, listen, right? So then Circus chimed in, right? But did you see the fact that Terrence chimed in too? Because Terrence said #KickFadeOut, laugh out loud. Bro, they're only fucking with you. They're giving you love by even having jokes with you, bro. Don't take it personal, sir. You know what I mean? Don't take it personal. Learn to laugh it off. We've had this conversation, Fade. You got to learn to laugh this shit off, bro. Especially if you're going to be on screen. You can't take it personal. If you take everything personal from the chat, you know what I mean? If you're going to take it personal, then you should never be on screen. That's something.
And that's the reason why I haven't been on screen, to be honest with you. You don't see everybody fucking with Ern and JT.
You know what a duck does? He lets the water roll off his back, bro.
Right off his back, right?
Right. So you gotta learn. You gotta learn to do the same thing for these conversations, bro.
Fuck no, duck quack.
You know, I just don't mess with them that way. That's why
This ain't good for you. This is for any and everybody that ever wants to be on screen. If you cannot handle the criticism that comes from the chat, then you should never be on the screen.
No,
That's
you're
not
right,
just
man.
for you, that's not just for you. That's for everybody, bro. You know what I mean? That's
I
for
know,
any
but
and everybody that ever
the way I
wants
was raised, man, and I know
But
I'm a
sometimes you
former
got
boxer, man. So when you punch, I counter punch real quick. Okay,
Hey,
I'm
but
always going to
Fade,
respond. And if
but
I don't
Fade,
mess with you, don't disrespect me. That's the way I look at it. But I understand what
definitely
you're
not in
saying.
the
For
minority.
all girls too.
okay.
Fade,
I'm
Fade,
gonna
the YouTube world is completely different from the way we was raised. You know what I'm saying?
first, you can't just immediately go to 100. If someone says something and they're teetering the line, and when they don't have a relationship with you yet, you let them know, hey, I really don't appreciate that. Just understand I don't know you like that. Let them know, man. You got to warn people first. You can't just go to 100 real quick. And like, I'm going to be honest, you're kind of being a diva right now. Be honest with you. But I understand you. But I'm saying when you're having Discord like this, we're having conversations where people are going to disagree with you. It's going to happen. They're not going to like your take. So they're going to say shit that might get under your skin a little bit. Fuck it. I don't care. I don't care. You know, welcome to the club. I love it. Embrace it. Because guess what? You might not know. Like down the line, y'all might have a great relationship. You don't know who he is, who he knows, or anything.
Yeah, Circus is Major League.
Unless
Look, this is
I'm
how.
talking to you anymore, Circus.
So you see how good of a guy Circus is, Fade. Look, you see the comment on the screen. Check out the comment on the screen.
What do you say?
He says, "I don't know if you don't feel disrespected unless you tell me. Now I hear you, and now I won't do it. I apologize with the utmost respect, Fade." You see what I'm saying?
God bless you, then, Circus, because he's always been good with me.
It's all you got to do is have a conversation, bro. Like JT said, don't go straight to 100, bro. Don't turn all the way up.
And I apologize, man. I don't know why this always happens on your show. So, and I apologize.
I don't know why you keep doing it on my show either. God damn it!
I know it always happens on your show, huh?
No. I can tell you why. It's because you haven't set your boundaries yet with the chat. You hear me say these motherfuckers, fuck you, motherfuckers.
I'm good to everybody, man. I don't talk shit to anybody on the chat. And they fucking start rolling in.
Fake.
When you come on the screen, you open yourself up for engagement.
Yeah.
I know. You're right.
You know what I mean? So you got to be able to take the engagement that they give with you.
Look. The way I look at it, the YouTube and being on screen is kind of like a court of law in this sense, because anything you say can and will be used against you at some point.
Yeah, but I'm not doing anything wrong.
And you just have to know that.
You and I have talked offline, man, and you've gone through this shit, right?
I'm telling you from experience.
You don't see anybody talking shit to Twan or JT or Dirty, right?
Everybody knows that.
Hey, hold on.
I don't like Terrence.
Hold on. But when I first came on, I was getting at Twan. I was making fun of him about shitting in the woods and shit, though.
Oh, really?
Faye, let me tell you something. You gotta look at the tapes. A lot of people don't agree with me. We the people been saying stuff about me in this chat today. He was already saying it. Just go through the live. But honestly, you need to set your boundary. Like here, Dirty's a perfect example. When people step out of line with Dirty, he might put you on timeout.
No, he will.
But I'm saying, but you need to do that when someone comment you feel like, hey man, you pushing a little bit. Just warn them, hey man, that ain't cool. Because now people are gonna understand. Okay, maybe I did go a little too far. Because when you come on platforms, people think that you're solid enough that you can take whatever they say. Sometimes you got to check people because they're not aware they might be stepping out of line and stepping over that boundary. But you have to ring them back in and be like, "Hey man, you're stepping too much."
Yeah.
Understand? My threshold ain't what Dirty threshold is or what JT threshold. This is my threshold. I'm a little bit more sensitive than other people. Now, if you continue to go on, nigga, I'm gonna snap on you. And remember, the microphone for us is a lot louder than it is for the people in the comment section.
Yes, sir.
They're on the chat restriction.
Yeah, and you know what? Someone told me on a show. They go, "Don't look at the chat." I think it was you.
Me,
that
I
said
do.
that. Don't look at the chat.
Fuck
You know,
'em.
Shit, I watched the chat the whole damn time. What you mean?
Hey, like, I ain't got that much time.
We're
to
gonna
really
move
look.
on.
I'm gonna have to get off in about 5 minutes, y'all.
Fade's got to understand it. So now we're gonna move on, ladies and gentlemen. I got a special guest backstage, man.
Better be Circus.
Real quick, man, ladies and gentlemen. You know, everybody has their show, right? Everybody came out with a show, a platform, a way that they want to run their show, right? And I love the way this dude runs his show. Reason being, I am a big advocate and fan of the 420 world, ladies and gentlemen. And he is the king of 420 in Southern California, as well as the 420 hour, 620, 720, 920, 1020 hour on YouTube, ladies and gentlemen. My boy, my brother, man, I can honestly say I've broke bread with multiple times. My boy, Mr. Redder Gabe. What's good with you, Gabe?
It's cracking, man. Chilling, man.
What's up, cuz?
And real quick, one more person, man, straight from the chat room. You know what I mean? Our brother, the one, the only, Mr. Major Leagues himself, Circus Raider. What's up, Circus?
What?
Circus.
What's good,
What's
yo?
going on, player?
Yeah, just give up.
What's good, man? Welcome
Welcome
to the channel, brother. How you doing?
Good. Just give me to apologize personally to Faith, because as all of you know, I am a jokester in the chat room. I just be there talking shit, shooting the shit with the folks like Terrence and Jay. So, but of course, I did not mean. Of course, I don't try to disrespect anybody on the panel unless I don't have to. And Faith,
No, it's all hey, Circus. I respect you for coming on, brother, and saying that.
Yeah, this is because I like joking around with the comments. Like I see Michael joke with you, Terrence joking with you. So I thought maybe I just joke around with it too, because that's how as Dirty knows, I don't even chat. That's how I show my love to people. If I don't fuck around with you like that, or I start cracking jokes, that means I don't have anything towards you. I don't feel any type of way towards you.
So hey man, God bless you, brother. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
and
by that,
we're good. We're good now. Okay, we're good.
All right, dude.
Hey man, Circus, bro. Hey, look, man. I definitely appreciate you. You know what I mean? Being in the chat as always, bro. I definitely appreciate you pulling up, you know what I mean, and giving those words, you know what I mean? Because I took just from your name, bro. Like the way I look at people, I look at their names, bro. You know what I mean? And the comments the way I see that you deliver your comments, bro, I always see that, you know what I mean? You got a sense of humor behind everything you pretty much state, unless you're stating facts, you know what I mean? But for the most part, I can tell that you're like a pretty much like a hilarious guy to probably hang around, bro. I feel like you're probably one of the people that's always in good spirits, you know what I mean? So I greatly appreciate you, you know what I mean, pulling up and always being a supporter of the channel and watching, bro. I appreciate you for real. That's
Circus is good, man. And the only reason why I know his name is because he's always chimed in and said, "What's up, Fade?" You know, and I gained some respect from that. You know, so I didn't know he climbed around like that. I didn't know that, like Mike G, right? So when he did that, I was like, "What the fuck, man? Why are you talking shit?" Right? But it's all good. We got respect.
Miscommunication.
Yeah, communication, man. So
now, Fade, take notes. Like I'm about to address somebody in the chat.
Yeah, we got Mr. Kick Fade the Blackout. What's up with you, Mike G? What's good?
Everybody fucks with me now. Everybody fades me out now, man. But
yeah,
now we got that cleared up. Like, of course.
Yeah, I just personally.
I'll go ahead.
Fade always got ruined shit.
No, it's one of the reasons why I don't go out on live on my own show all the time because of this shit sometimes. But that comes with the work, right?
You're gonna be on screen.
Dirty, you got to deal with it all the time, right, Dirty? So
yeah, you're gonna be on screen, bro.
I'm gonna come back in. My shit ain't working. My shit ain't working.
You good, Mike?
Can you see me?
We can hear you.
Welcome to the black delegation if we can.
Can we kick JT and fade out, man? I'm tired of this shit.
Oh, where's he at? That mother. Hey,
It should be called the JT show, man. He don't let nobody talk. God damn. Shit.